Our next story is about a solved case that turned into a cold case. A brother and sister accused of murder, but now they are free.
Here's Grace White with conviction overturned.
In a town with only a flashing red light, a murder tore two families apart.
It's been an emotional roller coaster.
2004, Cold Spring, Texas. A crime scene in San Jacinto County. It's a trailer home just north of town. The victim, Murray Burr, a longtime janitor for the local school district. He's stabbed 28 times.
Everybody always loved him because he was so sweet.
But quickly, this brother and sister, Richie and Megan Winfrey, found themselves accused of his murder, along with their father, Richard Sr., who had been recently released from prison.
They questioned us immediately. They came,
Yes.
Since it wasn't very far from the house, I think it's like 2 miles or so from our house, maybe like 5. They were asking everybody.
Investigators zeroed in on the Winfreys because they were students at the school where he worked. The families knew each other, and the dad had a long criminal history. But no witness and no evidence could ever directly tie them to the crime scene. Then investigators brought in bloodhounds. They picked the Winfrey scent out of a lineup. It was enough to convince a jury. They found Megan and her dad guilty and sent them to prison. But Richie's trial changed everything.
It was the longest moment of my life whenever they came in there, back from the verdict, and everybody was almost like shocked.
The jury found him not guilty and set off a chain reaction. Years later, an appeals court overturned Megan and her dad's convictions, saying the dog-sniffing evidence isn't reliable and, quote, it is insufficient to establish a person's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
I've got some questions about it. I believe that that this case is worth another look.
Joe Schulte is chief deputy at the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office.
Anytime somebody loses their life, it's a big impact on a community like this.
But little work has been done on the case since the convictions were overturned.
This is a solvable case with the amount of evidence that was collected and the work that was done, and I think the family deserves to know what the actual outcome is supposed to be.
The key to finding the killer could be in these documents. It's a crime lab report showing the DNA from the crime scene doesn't match the Winfreys and could belong to someone else.
They got their killers. That's what I think. And they're not looking anymore. They're not going to hear what anybody else says. And that case is solved for a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yes.
Megan is now reunited with her family. Her daughter wasn't even a year old when she went to prison.
Probably the first couple months that I was in there, I had this t-shirt that I would stuff full of clothes and just cuddle with it.
Happy to be home, Megan still struggles to find a job. She was acquitted but not declared innocent. Both siblings moved away from the small town that still buzzes about the murder.
To the people who still think you had something to do with this, what do you say?
There's still somebody out there, and all I can say is hope that one day somebody will solve this case, and then they'll see that it was not us.
We reached out to some of Murray Burr's family, but they did not want to comment on the case. We want to give you the chance to help with any of the cases